The Pentagon war planners have rightfully said that 90% of modern warfare is informational. That's why it's more important than ever that all of you watching subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones, because InfoWars is the front line of the fight. And without your help and support, we will fail. With your support and with your prayers, we will be victorious against the globalists together.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight here with Owen Schroyer. Let's take a moment and talk about this newest Clinton side. Somebody committing suicide who was involved in investigating the Clintons. This latest person is Peter W. Smith. He's a GOP operative. And, of course, the Chicago Tribune doesn't have a problem calling it suicide, but a lot of other people do. A congressman has a problem with it. A senior Wall Street Journal writer has a problem with it. These are people who were in contact with him. They're not buying it, and there are some very suspicious issues surrounding his death. He leaves a suicide note. First of all, he has a bag around his head with helium attached to it. That's bizarre to start with.
Bizarre.
Then he writes a note that says, "No foul play whatsoever. Move along. There's nothing to see here." And says, "I'm taking my life because of a recent bad turn in health since January 2017. And I'm doing this now because my life insurance policy of $5 million is expiring." Well, he would know that if you commit suicide and if you leave a note saying that you're committing suicide, you're not going to get payment
to get insurance
on a life insurance policy. So, I mean, that it's absolutely absurd. And the congressman, Ted Lieu, says you don't need to be a prosecutor to know that someone writing "no foul play whatsoever" in connection with a death seems awfully suspicious. And the senior Wall Street Journal writer, Shane Harris, also retweeted last night that there were no signs that Smith was about to commit suicide. He said, "When I spoke to Peter Smith, I had no indication that he was ill or that he was planning to take his own life. As a matter of fact, one of his former employees said he was there getting treatment. He was working to get well." And then he says, "Well, I'm going to take my life." Very much like what we saw with Aaron Schwartz, who supposedly committed suicide. And this is a guy who also was a fighter. He was fighting CISPA, ACTA, PIPA. He was fighting everything there. He had turned down an offer to do just 30 months from this prosecutor when they came under a lot of criticism for prosecuting him for a non-crime. And then all of a sudden, he commits suicide.
Yeah, it was Carmen Ortiz, a very corrupt judge in the Northeast that was in that case. You know, David, this is the Clintons, I think, getting more brazen, or just the whole, you don't have to use Clinton's name. I mean, they can be associated with like a list of over 50 dead bodies now, so you call it the Clinton body count. But, who knows what's really going on. But I think that, look, you've got Seth Rich, Barrington Wisenhunt Jr., and Sean Lucas, all potential witnesses in the DNC fraud lawsuit, dead. And then you've got Peter Smith, who was heavily committed to finding the emails that Hillary Clinton deleted. He had two things that he was basically doing: trying to stay alive and trying to find Clinton's emails. Now,
and he had a long history of exposing the Clintons, too.
And I'm starting to wonder if maybe he hadn't found those emails, David, and that's why he's no longer with us. So it's very amazing to me that within Seth Rich was, I think, July 9th or July 6th last year. So you've got just over a year, just over a calendar year, 4 people associated with the Clintons in one way, shape, or form mysteriously dead. Now,
and we have to understand,
I'm not allowed to believe in coincidence here as a reporter. And so I don't believe there's a coincidence here. I think there's something going on. As Ron Wyden said, David, it doesn't pass the Schmel test.
That's right. You had the D.C. madam come on and talk to Alex, and Alex says, "You're not getting ready to commit suicide." No, I'm perfectly fine. I have no interest. Then she commits suicide. Or even the spy in the bag situation that they had in Britain. They have this guy who was working for MI5, and he's found zipped up in a bag in his bathtub, dead after he went missing for a few days.
Well,
and it was so ridiculous that people say, "Oh, he committed suicide and zipped himself up in the bag," and everybody was laughing at it. So they hired a contortionist who was small, who put himself putting himself in a bag.
A professional.
Like, okay, fine. Let's see you do that without leaving any fingerprints on the zipper or the outside of the bag. As it was in that case.
Don't forget Vince Foster. And I believe, didn't Bill Clinton fire the FBI director the day before Vince Foster's death?
Yeah.
I mean, these people, I'm sorry, David. It takes everything I can not to just rip this desk out of its mouth right now. These people are sick.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back. And Cernovich will be taking the helm for the 4th hour. We'll be right back.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.